Thanks for staying with us. Fertility issues cannot be overemphasized today. Most women, especially who are waiting to have their children, had to go through challenges from various family members, friends, and society as a whole. On the show today, we'll be discussing knowing how to wait. Now, not just going to focus on fertility, we're also going to talk about waiting for different landmark events in your lives. Getting a job, getting married, getting a divorce. You know, there's so many important aspects of a person's life where there's that period of wait. And there are so many emotions tied to that period that we don't discuss. We often gloss over them. But today on the show, we have with us an actress, an award-winning actor, a friend of the house now.
Yes, she is.
Our dear sister, Nse. Welcome to the show. Good to have you.
Hello.
So we kind of hung out yesterday, and we went to watch this movie. We'll talk about the movie a bit later. It's a movie produced by Yewande Zaccheaus, the chairman of Eventful. And that movie screening brought out a lot of emotions. And was from that screening we thought, you know what, this is a topic we need to talk about for women and even men generally. And so I'd like us to start from different angles of waiting. So a few people shared their stories yesterday, which was quite profound, on those things that happen when a woman is uncertain. When am I going to have a child? When am I going to get married? When am I going to do this? When am I going to do that? Or when am I going to get a divorce? If you're going through a treacherous marriage and you feel like, you know, you need to get out of this. That period of wait, I'd like each of us to share your thoughts on the experiences and see what can we do to support each other during that period of waiting. Yes, Nima, would you like to start?
Okay, so let me talk about the waiting for a job for me. So I remember I left a job to finally carry my first child's pregnancy through, and I didn't have a job at the time. But it was okay waiting because I had neighbors' kids that were having difficulty in school. You know the way I am communal in my community, and everybody there just looks up to that person. So I just gathered the children and started teaching them. And it helped me buy time. It helped me go back to basic education, things I had skipped in primary school, secondary school, because I had one, it was 13, and it was still in primary 4 at the time. And the boy I found out later was a bit dyslexic. So the mom would never know what that meant. Because every time I was forcing him to read, he just kept looking at the screen. We went back to Queen Premier. We went back far back, and I saw he still had difficulty with 2-letter words and all of that. It opened my eyes a lot, so it prepared me for my kids. But for that period of waiting for a child, for me, the diagnosis was always the shocker. I remembered the first time I knew I had a problem, I'd never been pregnant, and we were watching TV in the evening, and I was lactating. My clothes were soaked from fluid, and I was thinking, and my husband was with me, only 2 of us there. We did not share this with any family members for fear that what would they be reacting to? And we're just looking. And I found out at that time, at 26, that I had never ovulated. Wow. That it was called womb shedding or something, the fats and all of that. So going to the hospital and getting this kind of news, for you, it was a lot of weight.
You know, what you're saying reminds me of what was said yesterday. Somebody said something that, are we waiting in gratitude? When you are waiting, are you waiting in gratitude or you're waiting in desperation?
Or in despair.
Or in despair. And that's what I want us to talk about. Are we waiting in gratitude of this moment, this period, or we are in despair, we are desperate, we are angry, we are frustrated? And so I want to take this up.
Yeah. As human beings, it's really tough to wait in gratitude. So it requires a lot of training. It requires a lot of appreciation for the fact that you're alive to even wait. Because we forget that life itself is a gift. So we forget that waking up in the morning is a gift. We forget that the rain is a gift. We forget the sun is a gift. We forget so many things. So we get desperate. We want things to happen in our own time, immediately. So experience in life has taught me that you can wait and smile through it all. And you're not smiling because you want people to think you're happy. You have to find, I always say, find your happy. So you would find things that you went to education, it helps you. Do you see what I mean? You can do gardening, you can do anything.
Well, society throws so much pressure
That
at you
is
as a woman.
what the problem is. So the conversation is to change the way we view these things. For instance, you have women and men and family members who are, of course, men and women, and they constantly put pressure on you and ask you, so when? Everything is about the when. Not how are you. They don't ever find, nobody wants to know how you're doing. They want to know when it's happening. And they say to you, it's because I care. No, love, you don't care that much. You don't.
I personally think it's a process. And it's a process that we all would find ourselves in. So it's like the scripture says, make your walk, take up your cross and follow me. So it's a cross that everybody will have to take up individually, depending on our personalities and our makeup. It's a journey that we'll have to go through ourselves, not about what other people say. Like when you say, how do you wait? Somebody may not be matured enough to understand that it's okay to wait in gratitude. They're still going through that process of despair, and it may take them a while to get into gratitude. So I think the basic thing is to educate ourselves to be very supportive and to take out the stereotypes of timelines where we place timelines on people. So you're just married for a few months and then you come visit and I'm looking at your womb to see if there's a bump already.
You might as well get in there.
If there's a bump already. So the education should be more, because everybody will definitely have to go through their process. Don't rush them out of it. Give them that time.
Process.
Their unique process. So give them that time, but apply support so that they will know that I have a shoulder to lean on when I need to lean on somebody. So the focus of the conversation should be more about how do we, as the bystanders of the people waiting, give support.
All right, let me get your initial thoughts on this before we go on a quick break. Okay.
You know, at 60, I think
gorgeous.
it is difficult to ask someone to wait in gratitude. That person needs counseling. That person needs, like you say, support, because there are so many people on her,
The noise.
including maybe her husband even, you know, who is, why haven't you given birth? Or I'm going to go out and have a baby, you know, or they will. So I find it, because I know people who have been married at least 10 years and they don't have kids, and I can see the
pain,
the despair in this particular
eyes.
person. I actually see, even in the way she dresses, she used to be such a high, you know, beautiful
Lively,
dresser.
happy.
Now she's just frumpy, and
Oh, no.
it's sad. You know, it's sad. And it's society. If you are Oyinbo now, Oyinbo people will
You
just
have gotten a
support
cat or
themselves.
something.
I got a
So
dog.
do we put pressure on ourselves?
You met him.
Is it our dreams that we, we don't pressure ourselves? Maybe you
I
just want to
think
have your own child.
We pressure ourselves as well. That's why I say, that's why I'm
It's a
finding it
society.
difficult to, I don't think I've ever seen somebody wait in gratitude.
Let me go on a quick break.
You did.
I did, and I took it up. And yes, you're right about counseling. You need to talk to people. And then, but one thing I know is extremely important is if you have a partner. If you have a partner that's supportive.
That's
And
the
this is
most
for
important.
those that are married. If you, or even if you're dating, if you have a supportive partner, the onus lies on that person to remind you that that's not the reason why
That's
you're
not the reason why
born.
you're married.
And that's not the reason why you're married.
Let me go on a quick break, because when we come back, I want us to now focus on the issue of fertility, because yesterday my ears were popping. I was hearing stories,
PCOS.
unique stories from people, where mother-in-law will tell you, so how long have we married you again? The mother-in-law will tell
What
her
did we marry
daughter-in-law,
you for
"Where did
again?"
how long did we marry? Or where did
your
we marry?"
mother.
You know,
My
so
mom.
these are things
mom
that
did
I have never in my life thought about. I've never even knew people could ask that kind of question, but it's reality.
Because you pop out
So
yours.
we're going to focus now on women who are waiting, that they're at that period.
Yes.
How do we support them?
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.
Thanks for staying with us. So we're still on this issue of the weight, and we're talking about the kind of support people in this group expect of society. Society comprises of friends, family, the media, companies, associates, strangers, and that's what we want to talk about, because I know Nse has a peculiar story where you, the media went for you during the time you announced your hysterectomy 5 years after you had gone through the procedure, but they made it look as if something just happened. And I'd like you to share that story because of how it made you feel and what the media did that really even invoked that anger that you, no, you didn't lash at anybody, but where we saw the anger
let's even talk about how she then, you know, talked about it. The stories that led to her having to reveal the situation.
Okay, so let me go back. So my partner is not, he doesn't do what I do. He's very conservative and doesn't care much for red carpets, just like I don't. But he particularly doesn't want to be seen. He says, it's your work, go do your stuff. So I literally begged him to accompany me for premiere at Leicester Square. It was 50 at the time. And so we went together. A photo was taken, and someone said, so they step out after seeking for the fruit of the womb. There's that one. Then there's the other one where they said, oh, that marriage is over because Nse is barren, in quotes, in those words. And
they use the word barren.
Oh, yeah, it's been used every time. And that is fine. It's fine to use it. It makes you comfortable, fine. But does it make the other person comfortable? We have to think about people who go through these things.
Do unto people what you want them to do unto you. I live by that doctrine. If I'm doing something to someone, I quickly reverse and think,
how would I feel?
How would I feel?
It's done to me. Yeah, except you're a psychopath, and that's valid. If you are, I can understand it. But if you know that you are just a human being, I think you should be more empathetic towards these things.
Because I saw and say how people, from mother-in-laws come and start touching your tummy.
Oh, no, that is so rude.
Yeah, so you see, we want to help people here today. We can lament all we want, but the objective of this conversation is to let people know what they do to us that we don't realize they're doing it.
Yes. These are the questions that...
Can I just quickly say something? Sorry. So recently, and this happens every time, someone's going to come into your DM, that's social media, and say something. Someone can just pass a comment. Just a photo of you being happy. We can take a photo here and laugh. Someone will single you out. That would be me. Are you accomplished?
Imagine that.
Have you, you know, they just say things that are so hurtful. But I'm thankful because I knew how to wait in gratitude after my despair and how to say it is also okay for what I've accepted. And it's funny that for some film that I did, my character is similar to me.
Yeah, yeah. We saw that. We'll talk about the movie in a minute because I wanted to bring in Yewande a bit later.
Okay.
But I would like to come to you, BC, on the issue of how do we support friends, you know, especially when you as a person have children and your friend doesn't have children and you don't know how to go about even having that conversation. You don't know what to do.
You shouldn't.
You know, you shouldn't have the conversation. You think you shouldn't, right?
No, I think you shouldn't have the conversation. I think you shouldn't constantly throw the, because even girls do it. They throw the, Mrs. And now you first marry.
I think it's about, like YK just rightly said, putting yourself in another person's shoes.
That's it.
And there's something I used to live by that I forget, but I think I need to keep reminding myself all the time that before you say something, if it's not going to build that person up, don't say it. And I realized that there are people who are around you who may be going through things that they don't even say.
Yes.
You need to be sensitive not to throw things that you think they don't have in their faces. It's just about being sensitive. Yes. And I think sometimes we need to, it's a kind of switch that because of the way the country is and everybody's hustling and everybody's trying to prove to one or the other that we are better, we switch it off. We don't remember to turn it on and let it be a part of our lives. So we constantly just live for ourselves, and we're selfish, not paying attention to what other people are going through around us. So it's about paying attention and noticing.
And saying, I'm living my life. And that too is valid.
Yes. The point I'm trying to make also is the fact that there are some people, someone like me, because if I were in that shoe, I'd rather you don't talk about it. Let me be in my space, and I'm comfortable.
Except I come to you. What if I come to you?
I don't
want you to.
No, but they don't get
I don't want to
so
talk
these
about
are the questions. Okay, I'm from Edo, and the Edo, there's a belief that when your period comes regularly, you must have so much heat. So they
internal heat.
Internal heat.
It is so weird. I know.
My mom too asked me, so it's not my mother-in-law's fault that she later asked me. Because my mom would be like, Nima, you know those your period, they used to be so heavy. I used to have very heavy flow, 15 days heavy flow, and I'm still on my period.
But it's a sign.
So I didn't know. She didn't know. None of us went to the hospital until I got married. So, and they would be like, they feel heat inside your belly. And as my mother-in-law will come and say, your temperature is always high. I be the hot. They get.
What's that supposed to mean? Like you're pregnant?
It means that you can hold the baby.
That's what it's so
the heat inside you is cooking up the babies to come to to flow to period. So when I finally understood it, any time is the time of the month. Somebody wants. I say no heat.
Don't touch me.
Don't touch me. You know,
the revelation.
There are several ways they ask that you know it just doesn't make it comfortable. I've seen a relative now who's waiting. She's waiting for 4 years now. And I'm just happy at the kind of in-laws that she has. You know, they just constantly just check up on, are you fine? Let me send you money for shopping. You know, just to kind of distract her. And I know that they would love to have a child through her. But, you know, all they know how to do is support. And when we felt the pressure would be, they said, no, we'll just move. And they moved out of...
Maybe can I ask you this question? Because some men, even though they say, oh, I love and support you, will still go out and have children from another woman.
That is societal pressure. It's not, and then it also means that the man himself doesn't actually love you. It doesn't. He doesn't. He can't love you.
Wow.
He doesn't love you to go out. He will. That's he's stepping out. He can't prove it. That doesn't mean anything. He needs to
I was
stand
sharing
with
with the
you.
ladies recently that 2 guys had that issue. One stepped out. The other one said, I love my wife. And now both of them are 60. The one who stepped out has 2 children.
Yes.
The one who says, I love my wife, is 6 years old. And he's now thinking, okay, maybe I should have stepped out when my friend did. Because there were 2 friends. And he's over 60 now. And they had that conversation like, okay, I don't have children yet. And I wish I had stepped out. So I think what I would like us to have the conversation is, regardless of where you find yourself, own it.
Yes.
I want to give you a high five, but I'll stay here.
The final decision of that choice you make is what is most important.
Yes.
Me now I can say it, but I didn't believe it. When my husband would be like, enjoy the marriage now, must we have children? I just kept looking at him that he's a Muslim. Maybe tomorrow now I'll just have like 2, 3, 4 at the end of the... so I will have to live with that. So even that method for 2 months, I remember I would not talk in the house, I would not cook well, I would not say anything, just merely thinking, so then they'll just marry 2, 3. And he'll have his own children.
No, but they are men.
You know, but it took a while to trust that you have and that's the most important thing. In fact, sometimes leaning on that person's faith might see your journey, make your journey shorter. And I mean shorter in the sense that you might finally get through your wait, or make your waiting. You won't even feel the period of waiting that is long enough.
Make your waiting blissful.
Blissful. So it's important that, you know, the people go and see that movie.
I think it's very important that we let people move from that place of despair to gratitude. And one of the ways that I think they can move is to have the mindset that whatever happens, it's for a reason. So what I always tell myself is I can't remember the agreement I had with God before coming here. I really do not understand what my purpose is. I don't know what I'm meant to do here. This trial or tribulation that I am facing could be one of those tests I'm supposed to pass into something great. Now, when you have that mindset, you always know that it will pass. Even if the child doesn't come at the end of the day, be happy with your life.
What if you have
for
the
where
child,
you
is an armed robber and come?
Exactly. So you don't know what God has saved you from. You know?
Let me go on a break. I'm going to bring in Yewande Zacchaeus because, I'll sure.
Wait now.
Calm down.
Because, you see, I know that Akelabi's wife, I can't remember her name, she did a book. And I really wanted the producers to also call her on to this story, but our phone lines are switched off. We're trying to reach her all morning. Because it'd be great to hear, because she actually went through that wait. Yes. And so it'd be great to hear her story. But let's go on a quick break. When we come back, we'll bring in our guest. Stay with us, we'll be right back.